Hello class and welcome to this Magician walkthrough for the NES right here on Video Games 101 by way of Let's Play with Brigands. I'm your instructor, Professor Brigands, and this is one of those all-time games which was tailor-made for Video Games 101. Despite the fact that it preceded this channel by about 30 years, so maybe the other way around, but regardless, this game is in a class all of its own. First off, I don't know of a lot of games which try to sell you on them after you've already bought them, by the way. It's what's going on right now. It's a very cool game, though. Very ambitious blend of action that's heavy on role-playing elements. There are dozens of spells and items, puzzles, cryptic hints here and there. It's also one of the more challenging games for the NES, with the occasional tricky platforming elements, traps which can end your game in a single hit, and oh yeah, the fact that this game is not only, it never holds your hand, but it zaps you in the hand with a level 4 lightning spell. I'm going to go ahead and give Magician a 9 out of 10. On the frustration scale, this equates to writhing around on the floor, cursing in tongues. Might be a spell for that actually, but thankfully, as I said, this class is going to cover everything you need to know on how to beat this game. Fluff has the solutions to the many puzzles, plus some interesting facts about this relatively obscure NES title. Gary has all of your boss beaters, but Blaze is the real star and MVP of today's class with his Wizards Institute of Technocery. He's going to teach you everything you need to know about the spells in this game, all, I think, 35 of them. And he has invaluable information on every single spell in the game, not to mention info on the many items of Magician. So let's run the intro and get into this Magician walkthrough for the NES right here on Video Games 101. Alright, as we start a new game, I like this title screen. Get some context as we take a look at the controls for Magician. Not the best setup with select for going into the menu and then start getting out of the menu, but use items with B, whatever you have selected. Cast spells with A. We can enter the spell letters here in the menu with A once we go down to that tab at the bottom by hitting select. So we can create all the spells we want on demand here, which is why Blaze's spell list is so important. If you want to jump ahead, we do have timestamps for that section and all sections of this video for your convenience. Press up to go into the guild here. You can listen to some gossip first. The keeper won't talk to you until you have a drink of his goat's milk. Not a euphemism, he sells goat's milk. Fun fact, if you drink 4 of those, if you order 4, the game ends. You just basically get drunk in the tavern, and the Abadon, who is the final boss, causing all the mischief, he just kind of takes over while you're drunk. So press up to talk to this warrior. He will give you 500 bucks just for talking to him. He's done with this macho warrior stuff. I can appreciate that. You can talk to other people, but we're only going to be showing you the things that actually matter for advancing this game. If we can't make some money from talking to somebody, then it's not worth it. That's our policy here on Video Games 101. I'm going to go into this unmarked shop, and Blaze has an overview of their items. Alright, the items in this first shop. First we have the key, which you can buy one to unlock every single chest in the game. How refreshing is that? I appreciate that. Next you have the sunglasses. Use these in the next area to halve the amount of water you'll lose. Just might as well buy it. Money's not that big of a deal in this game. Next we have the walking stick. You'll use this to create a staff. Later on, I recommend purchasing it. And then they have the fireball scroll fist mirror. You can purchase this, or you can just teach yourself all the spells. I'm about to give you every single spell combination code in this game, so hang out or purchase it, doesn't really matter, but there you go. The items in this first shop. Thank you very much, Blaze, and talk to the priest here. And what do we got here? magic water, Blaze?
Alright, the magic water. Use this later in the game to purify some dirty water so that you can drink from it.
Good call. So yes, we agreed to deliver the letter for the priest. Once you do that, you probably noticed that we passed the post office, the ye old mail shop. So let's pop in here and deliver this. Every now and then you'll see a message which says you feel more experienced. That means your magic cap, your mana cap has gone up, so you have more points to spend on magic spells. You'll find that just doing rather basic things makes that go up sometimes. Sometimes we got some points for finding the secret shop earlier that was an unmarked door, for just talking to the priest earlier, for delivering the letter, things like that. So our mana capacity keeps going up. We're going to cover every single thing in this game which you can do to boost your mana cap, so we're going to speed this up a little bit as we regenerate some magic, and let's talk some mechanics here. The first thing to understand about Paul is that he's got an extreme case of hyperphagia to where he needs to eat constantly. He must be related to Master Higgins of Adventure Island, another game which we covered here on Video Games 101, which incidentally I also gave a 9 out of 10 to, but both his hunger and thirst go down at a rate of 1% roughly every 2.5 seconds. So if either one ever hits 0, you'll begin losing 2 health per second. If both are at 0, your hunger and your thirst, then you'll start losing 5 health per second, which will leave you dead in 20 seconds time, or 5%. So while there's no reliable healing spell per se, you do naturally regenerate 1 unit of health per second, assuming that you have at least 1% in both food and water. Speaking of regeneration, you naturally recover mana at roughly 6 points per second. It's faster if you use a specific spell, which we'll talk about later, but also being poisoned is a thing. If you're 100% poisoned, you'll lose 1.5 units of health per second, which is why a venom shield is essential, along with all of the other shields. We'll have Blaze come in and talk about the most essential spells in just a second. Before we do that, let's take a look at the Briggs notes for this Magician walkthrough. These are the keys to beating this game. First, follow this guide. In case you couldn't tell, this game is a bit complicated. Not as much as you probably think based on what we've talked about so far. I know we've been throwing a lot of numbers at you. You're probably thinking a bit too much math for my liking, but trust me, it's not that bad, and this guide will seriously help you out and ensure that you can easily beat this game, even though it's a 9. But number 2, begin with the most valuable spells, MVS. Again, I keep saying it, but Blaze will come in here in just a moment and talk about the most essential spells to teach yourself at the start. Number 3, keep shields full whenever possible. Those are some of those most valuable spells. A lot of enemies, well, every enemy attacks with a certain type of attack. Maybe venom, maybe fire, maybe just a physical attack. If you have shields, they will not hurt or detract from your health. They will not take away your health. So that's why the shields are essential to have up whenever possible. We want to take care of that early on in this game, which is what we're doing right here. Number 4, use level 4 offensive spells. Whenever you're fighting enemies, you want to make sure you're using the most powerful version of that spell so you can take them down as quickly as possible so they do as little damage to you as possible, so you don't have to spend more mana needlessly in restoring your shields. Number 5, keep your items topped off. That's what we're doing right here. Generally, you can carry 3 of every type of item, so you want to make sure you have 3 potions, 3 of every food type, so on. And number 6, never have full magic. Not an issue too often in this game, but if you have full magic, that means you can't regenerate magic, so you want to make sure that you're spending magic whenever possible, getting those shields up for the most part. That's the main thing you're going to want to do. And lastly, save often. This game features a save system. If you go into your inventory and you go through your items, you'll find that you have 4 different save slots, A, B, C, D. Magician gives you 15 saves you can use per game, so if you get in the habit of using 1 save per territory, then the numbers will generally work out. There's, I think, only 8 or 9 areas, so you should have more than enough save slots in this game to use. Alright, I've been teasing it, setting it up for a while. Let's finally bring in Blaze with the complete Magician spell guide for the NES, the codes to create every single spell, and just an overview of the ones that you should absolutely have, the essential spells. Here we go. Blaze, walk us through it.
Alright, this is the complete list of spells in Magician for the NES. Put a lot of work into this, covering all, I think, 35 spells in this game. As you can see, we have asterisks next to the essential recommended spells. Mentioned this earlier, the 6 spells which I recommend that you have in Lightning, Fireball, and the 4 shields, but there's some other in the miscellaneous column which are good to have. Spear is good to have as well, but as you can see, all the different codes for inputting each one, they're all right here. Every time you input one of these codes to create a spell, you're spending 50 MP, which takes about 8 seconds, as the professor probably mentioned, to get enough MP to create another spell. But if you want, and you can obviously do this early on in the game when you have unlimited food. For the most part, you have a lot of money to spend on food, so you can just keep regenerating, teach yourself all of these spells if you want. But yeah, certainly focus on the ones with the asterisks next to them. And then if you want to laugh, you can check out some of the other ones. But they're all organized by attack spell type. Certain enemies are strong against certain types of spells, like the physical, the power, which is generally lightning. You have the fire, obviously, and then venom-based attack spells. Note that we have the cost, which is in the final kind of column for each of these, as being related to the level 4 cost, so the most powerful. Always recommend that you use the most powerful level, especially with the attack spells in particular. But as you can see, a lot of these very expensive at the highest level, and the amount of attack, the damage you're getting out of them just isn't worth it. So it's more if you just want to laugh, you have a whole lot of MP to spend, you just want to mess around, maybe you just saved, you want to experiment with some of these. But really the only spells you need to beat this game: Lightning, Fireball, the 4 shields, and then some miscellaneous spells like Fly. You need to be able to fly. There's a stage coming up soon where we need to be able to jump. The reveal obviously shows you where hidden things are, hidden doors, things like that. We can wake up different friendly people with the wakey wakey spell. Translate will be used once to communicate with a tree. We need the twin spell once very late in the game. We have the slow-mo spell, which we need in one of the final levels where there's a lot of traps. We need to slow things down around us. Featherlight is necessary for grabbing one chest. A lot of these miscellaneous spells, which we have the asterisk next to, are single use. You're only going to need them in 1 or 2 spots in the game, but still, good to have them. You'll learn them, and the professor will talk about them as they come up later on in the game. And then the iron boots as well. We'll need these to progress through one level midway through the game. But then you also have a couple fun ones like Help. If you need some tips, we got you covered though. You shouldn't need that spell. The sound test, and of course the credits list with yeah, that right there, the hoo hoo me, hoo hoo. Some of these are very funny to say, but and then obviously the damage for each of these spells, I have them listed as weak, that's 1 to 5 damage, medium 6 to 9 damage, or strong, which is 10 or more. Some of these fire multiple shots, so it's possible that they can land multiple shots of 10 or more, like in the Death Ring's case. But again, for the most part, said it a lot: Fireball, Lightning, the 4 shields, and a handful of these miscellaneous spells, which the professor will mention later on as you need them. But refer back to this full list anytime you need it. We're there for you. The Magician NES complete spell guide list right here.
Good look, Blaze. Yeah, put a lot of work into that, so thank you very much. And you can see we got our physical shield all the way up. Working on the Venom Shield right now. Those are the two most expensive ones. The Fire Shield and the Power Shield, which is Power Shield, as you could probably gather from Blaze's spell guide. It's, for the most part, lightning-based attacks, although there are a couple other exceptions, maybe the miscellaneous attacks from some enemies, but definitely want to keep that Venom Shield up so you don't have to worry about being poisoned. See the Venom meter right there. Physical Shield's probably the one you'll burn through the most, just because a lot of enemies use physical-based attacks on you. Anytime an enemy rubs up against you, touches you, then you're generally eating into that physical shield. But we've talked a lot about the importance of having your items topped off and making sure you always have food and water. So let's get an overview now, bringing Blaze back in with information on how the different foods add to your hunger meter, your food meter. Some are better values and last longer, go farther than others. So, Blaze, what can you tell us about the food and water in Magician?
All right, let's compare the foods and water in Magician. First, water, pretty straightforward. You buy it for 10 gold. You get 5 uses. Each use gives you 20% of your water back. Next, we have the bread. 10 gold gives you 20% your hunger bar filled back up. You have the ham for 25%, the chicken for 30%. Those are 30 gold apiece. The best deal, obviously, overall, is the vegetables. 40% food refilled for just 10 gold. All of these food items you can max out at 3. Just make sure you stock up on all this. You want to prioritize eating the vegetables first, and obviously buying these whenever you can, but it's always a good idea to have max food in every single column, as the professor mentioned in those brig notes.
Thank you very much, Blaze. Yeah, the vegetables are the way to go. Definitely the developers were trying to, I don't know, maybe not so subtly make a point about the nutrition content of, or value of, vegetables over some of the other options. But yeah, they are far and away the best value for money. Although I have to say, money in this game is not an issue. You could probably buy most everything. You would max everything out before you would run out of money, generally speaking, in this game. We'll find a lot more money as we go on. You see we have 1,200 right now, but yeah, the shops where we can purchase food are very few and far between, which is why we want to take these moments right now, early on in the game when we have a lot of money and we're in a safe place, haven't run into any enemies yet, to just top off our shields, make sure we're prepared for the dangers of this game. This game becomes so much more manageable outside of the odd trap here or there if you just make sure you get your shields up. So, obviously it's taken a long time, I'm not gonna lie, it takes a very long time to get these things topped off, but you can see we're even speeding it up here, obviously. But, yeah, it's well worth the effort. You obviously don't have to do this. You can just head straight into adventure. It's your prerogative, but, yeah, it's just one less thing to worry about as we get into the dangerous elements of this game, enemies and elements. We're almost topped off in all of our shields, then we'll just restore all of our mana one last time, make sure all of our items are topped off, and then that would be a great time to save your game, obviously, in case you do end up dying. You won't have to go through all that again. You'll have that save state right there so that you have all of your shields ready to go, your mana topped off. Alright, our shields are good. Just need to get our mana back maxed out. Make sure we have all of our food items. We need to get some water, obviously, here. Just need to spend 10 to get the full flask. That's always the case, whether you buy it here or if you find water out in the field. It'll max out all of your water skins. And now just default on the lightning spell, usually a good bet. Lightning or fire, you'll find most enemies, I think Blaze mentioned this, can be taken down with either lightning or fire in this game, so with maybe just one exception, so which is why we call them the essential spells, lightning and fireball. Yeah, lightning is marginally more powerful. It costs a bit more mana, but it's also marginally more powerful. So again, that goes back to I'd rather take out my enemies as quickly as possible rather than save a little bit of mana, because I know I'm going to pay for it one way or another. If a battle goes on longer than I anticipate it going on, then I'll have to spend even more mana topping off my shield. So we're looking pretty good here. Note that every time, forget if I mentioned this, but every time you teach yourself a new spell, it costs 50 mana, so it's a small price, but the only way in which learning a spell doesn't cost you mana is if you find a scroll or if you purchase a scroll, so. But when you're teaching yourself the actual letters, whether someone tells you the spell name or not, it's going to cost you 50 mana, so. So we're finally heading out here. About to take on our first enemy, not a boss per se, but let's bring him in anyway. Gary?
It's Scary Gary's Boss Beaters.
The tricky thing about these warrior axes is that sometimes they give you $500, sometimes they want to kill you. It's the two opposite ends of the spectrum there, but either way, they'll die with level 4 fireballs. Put a few shots of these guys, few shots into them, roughly 10 shots to be exact, or roughly exact, but keep your distance. That's usually the strategy with a lot of the bosses that are moving around. This ensures that you're landing all of your shots. You're not letting them get right on top of you, getting extra hits on you. Just keep that distance. Fire these fireballs as quickly as possible as they're on the screen. You'll take him down.
Thank you, Gary. And we're going to save our game here. Forgot to do that after we got all our shields up. Use those sunglasses like Blaze mentioned. This is where we're using them. This will cut the water that you lose in half. And we learn our first spell by word of mouth. Mjolst gives you light. And keep moving to the right here. And press down to search this stump, or just to search in general. We got ourselves a new spell, Reveal, and a dragon egg. Has a very specific use. It'll just happen naturally later, so we'll give Blaze a minute to rest. Talk to this wizard. We get more points, and we learn a new spell here, Ministole. I like the names of some of these spells, by the way. Like Fireball is Fist Mira. It sounds like the name of a drug you would see advertised on TV. Consult your doctor before taking Fist Mira, you know? So use the Reveal spell at this sparkly area, and then cast Wakey Wakey to bring this wizard out of his enchantment. And he'll give you a scroll. What did we just learn? Translate. And he gave us the Vial of Earth, which we need to beat the game in the end. There are 4 vials. That's the first of them. Continue on this way and get ready with your Fireball spell. Got some more of these warrior acts. Got 2 of them this time. Like Gary said, just keep your distance to make sure that they all land. Push down to search the bodies. Sometimes they have food, sometimes they have gold. It's just a randomizer to determine how much gold you get, if you get gold or food or nothing, as the case may be. Cast Reveal here to find a hidden shop where we'll have the option of buying 4 spells. But again, there's nothing here that he's selling that we couldn't get from Blaze's spell menu. Grab yourself a couple potions there. We'll bring in Blaze to talk about all of the different potions of the game in just a moment. Again, I'd like to give him a bit more of a rest after that. Like Gary said, you never know if one of these warrior acts is going to give you money or try to kill you with spells of their own. But yeah, this one gives you 500 gold every single time. This guy wants to kill you. This is where I like lightning on this priest, monk-ish looking guy. Enter the well here by pushing up. Don't worry about those knees, apparently. So you'll discover when you open these chests that if you're maxed out on something which is in the chest, you can't pick it up. So it gets wasted. You can't go back into the chest. So that's why following this guide will tell you ahead of time what is in each of these chests. So there's some bread, there's some water, which is why we just pounded some water and ate some bread ahead of time so that we could make the most. We just got the scroll for Fly and Featherlight. So now that we got the scroll for Fly, we just automatically have it. And you could see from Blaze's spell guide that the higher number you use for the Fly spell, the longer it lasts. So level 2 will be enough to get us out of the well here. No reason to spend more mana than we need to. So we're just going to speed this up to replenish a little bit of magic because we have a bit of a mini boss coming up here. Want to make sure we have enough of our lightning level 4 to take him down. On top of flying over the swamp here. If you go into that water, you will drown. But anyway, Gary, what do we do?
Right, the Pythono plant, I like that name. Use max lightning level 4. We always recommend using the max level for offensive spells, as the professor mentioned, but want to walk towards him, retreat, and repeat to avoid getting hit by those projectiles like we show. Use this strategy a lot on subsequent bosses, so we'll talk more about it, but 15 shots of lightning level 4 will take him down, and you're moving on.
Thanks, Gary. I like level 4 Featherlight here so we can walk on water without worrying about it running out too quickly so that we drown. Unlock this chest, and I think we automatically make the Staff of Power. Blaze?
Alright, the Staff of Power. Not a bad staff, actually. It's very useful against one kind of mini-boss slash enemy, which Gary will talk about a little bit later. This is level 1 lightning, on demand, doesn't cost you any MP. You use this with the B button as your item button. So not a spell, just a staff which lets you cast that spell without limit. So there you go, the Staff of Power.
Thank you very much, Blaze. Yeah, we could have Featherlight walked to the right there, or if you just want to play it safe, maybe just cast Fly there as we get to the third area. Might be a good time to save. As we talk to this peasant, he'll give us another spell, Pohu Nast. Forget which one this one is offhand. Might as well punch it in. Dispel, yeah, just an offensive spell we don't use. Search this bush right here, bush down, you'll find some gold. Have your gold in your inventory and press B when this guy comes over to the shore and he'll give you a ride across. If you try flying here, the lightning will essentially break your flying spell and just drop you into the water, or just kill you outright, so. Have Fireball ready over here and just be ready to blast this warrior act right here. I guess he's still into the macho stuff, but look where it got him. No gold for us, unfortunately. Alright, this is the second of 3 shops in this game where we can replenish our food and water. So another chance for us to top off all of our shields, if you need to. You can see our physical shield, as I think I mentioned earlier, that's the one that got beat up the most. So we want to make sure that one's topped off, certainly. The others can be probably topped off with a kill this guy first. He won't respawn or anything, but it's good to take him down so we can know how much of our shield we need to get back before we can move on. And this guy's selling potions. Let's get an overview of the 3 potions you'll find or purchase in this game with Blaze.
Alright, the basic potions you can purchase or find a lot of times here in Magician. First, you have the antidote for venom, sets your poison back to 0 if you've been poisoned. Secondly, the health potion gives you 20% of your health back. And lastly, most importantly of these 3, is the mana potion, restores 500 MP on demand. You can only have 3 of each of these, unfortunately, but yeah, make sure you always have 3 of these mana potions. And the professor will mention when you've got a chest coming up which has one of these, you can down one of these and get the most out of those slots. But there you go, the 3 potions right here in Magician.
Thank you very much, Blaze. Yeah, using the interest of saving you from having to watch us stand around, getting our mana back and replenishing our shields. You can see the meditate spell we used right there. I think I alluded to this earlier, but that spell allows you to replenish your mana a bit more quickly at the expense of consuming more food and water while you do it. So there is that trade-off, but when you have plenty of money like we do right here and you have unlimited food essentially at this shop to purchase, not a bad idea to make that go a little bit faster. So just make sure we're topping off all of our foodstuffs, mostly just the vegetables. That's really the only thing that you need to purchase when you have a shop available, just because it is the best value for money. The other types of food are just good to have once you get out into the wilderness. Not the literal wilderness, we just came from there, but you know what I'm saying. Deeper into the game when we don't have the luxury of shops nearby to replenish our food and water on demand. Another warrior act who will give us 500 bucks. I think he's the last one who's done with this macho warrior stuff, so don't get used to free money, at least from that guy anymore. Mira Hufina. Yeah, not Humina. Well, sounds like something Adam Sandler, one of his characters, would have said back in the 90s. Mira Hufina. Something like that. Is it just me? Does anybody else hear it? Anyway. Not a bad idea to teach ourselves the spear spell if we haven't already. This is probably the one instance where something besides fire and lightning can work pretty well on a end of level boss. Good time to save as well because we have a tricky jumping section here. So if you don't have the jump spell, that is the Mira Hufina, and the level which you use dictates how far it goes. So generally the rule of thumb is if you need to skip 2 gaps, or 1 gap, you use a level 2. If you need to skip 2 gaps, use a level 3 like right there. If it's a long jump, use level 4. I usually like to wait on the tortoise shell here, or whatever we're riding on, with a level 4 like you saw right there, and then switch back to a level 2 to do this little gap right here. This is a level 4 jump. You can generally just eyeball it and tell which jump is necessary for each one. Don't worry about the ghosts, that's what the shields are for, that's the luxury, so we just focus on our jumping. Level 3 right there. Probably just go for a 2 if it's a short little gap. Be careful, they are kind of sticklers about where you can land on that shell. Can't be too far to the side, so. Just a couple more here at the end. Again, we can't fly because the lightning will shoot us down and or kill us. But as we get to the edge here, I'm gonna go all the way to the right. Let's bring in Gary for tips on this one.
Boss beaters. Alright, the Manu Bat. This is the one instance where you might want to use the spear spell. Blaze talked about it earlier a little bit, or he showed you how to craft this. But yes, spear does a good bit of damage if you can land all shots on the boss. Couple this with your newly formed Staff of Power, and just stay on that right-hand side. Time those shots, especially the spear shots, since that's the one that's costing you mana, whenever possible, knowing that it goes in that 45-degree angle up and to the left. Just keep blasting away with the Staff of Power, you'll take him down.
Good call, Gary. Thank you very much. Yeah, that spear is very powerful if you can land a lot of if you just kind of line up the shot so that the entire thing hits him, does pretty decent damage. So we're now in Merl Forest. Once again, if you want to do a save at the start of a new area, not a bad idea. Go with Puhu Ranahu for Exorcise. And just use some lightning or use your Staff of Power first. And Gary, Exorcise?
Boss beaters. Right, Mondo Fungo. Use the Exorcise spell. If you get right on top of them, level 4, you'll blast all of the 6 shots, I think, that come out of the Exorcise spell. If you're right on top of the boss, they'll all connect. Get 5 of these shots of 5 instances of Exorcise off, one after another. You'll take him down.
Thank you very much. Postramist. And we don't even need this one, but whatever. He's teaching it to us. Let's humor the man. Probably never use that spell. Need to be careful. This is, by the way, the final food shop store stop off in this entire game. So if you want to spend your money, buy everything this guy has, there's no reason to hold on to your money beyond this point. Another good opportunity to top off all your shields. Now I know you're thinking, Professor, this guy's not selling water. Well, that's what the magic water that we got earlier is for. It's just a bit to the right, but just want to make sure we have a little bit of magic in the tank as we head to the right here. If you want to take down these ghosts just for kind of going back and forth, you can use your Staff of Power on them, or some level 1 lightning, or level 4 would be even better, but yeah, we just don't really have the mana right now. Yeah, just to clear this out, this little section, but this is the dirty water which we need, the magic water which we got back in our hometown. And now we have an infinite supply of water right here. Just pull out your water pouch and your water flask and just hit B next to the water, and it will automatically fill it up for you as many times as you like. And while we're just trying to get our shields topped off and our mana recovered, let's throw it to Fluff for our first Fluff fact about Magician. Fluff?
Magician was one of the first titles developed by British video game developer Eurocom Entertainment Software. Founded by a small team of developers in late 1988, Eurocom developed a couple dozen games in the 90s, mostly for Nintendo, before branching out in the early 2000s and developing titles for the first few PlayStations and Xboxes. While they developed a small handful of original titles like Magician, most of the games Eurocom produced were sports titles, ports, and games based on licensed properties. Speaking of which, they actually developed half a dozen titles in the James Bond universe. The company developed a few dozen titles between 1990 until they shuttered their doors in 2012 after their final game, 007 Legends.
Yeah, they didn't make GoldenEye, obviously. That was a rare title, but I think I might have played a couple of those Bond games which they made. We're just meditating here, getting back as much MP as possible. You can see the hunger and the thirst hits you a lot harder when you're meditating. And you can see the effect that it had on our health right there. Brought us down from about 80 to 43% as we were starving while we were meditating, so gotta be careful with that particular spell. See our rating is at Dexterous right now as our mana level is going up with everything that we've done to this point. We'll have achieved the title of Magician by the end of this game, but yeah, top off your water right there. That's why it's a good idea to get those ghosts out of the way so you don't have to worry about them flinging whatever spells they were. I don't know if it was power-based or what it was, but quite possibly considered we're tapped on that right now. I should mention while we have a little bit of downtime right here that you have to be careful about, we've talked about different characters like the warrior axe. Sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they want to kill you. It's always predetermined, it's always set which ones want to kill you, which ones will give you gold. But if you have an itchy magic finger, is what I'm trying to say, that can cost you as they will fire back. An otherwise friendly NPC will take issue with you flinging fireballs or lightning bolts at them, as you'd expect. And they'll come after you, so that's why you generally have to react, unfortunately. Or better yet, just listen to us and we'll tell you who's having a bad day and who wants to come after you, essentially. But back in that first town, if you zap, I think, more than 2 people, then pretty much the entire town turns on you, so that's not a good idea. If you're thinking, oh, I want to practice this spell, I want to test this thing out, yeah, maybe do it when you're sure that there's no one around, as that can definitely cost you. looking pretty good. We just need to top off our magic points themselves at this point. Want to make sure before we move on we have a full allotment of magic points to draw on for the next challenge, which is ahead. Again, just money burning a hole in our pocket right now. No reason to hang on to any of this. Even potions, we'll find plenty of them to keep our numbers maxed out for the most part, so. And again, we'll always tell you before we open a chest, the contents of that chest, or, you know, you can just watch us open the chest if you're playing along and see, oh, okay, that has a mana potion, I've got 3, I might as well burn one before I open up this chest and get 500 mana points back. There'll be a few instances of that, practical application of that a little bit later in the game, but get a save going here. Oh, we still need to get our mana points back. While we're doing that, let's bring in Fluff for one more Fluff fact in this section of the game about Magician. Fluff?
While Eurocom developed this game, Taxon was the publisher. While Taxon published a dozen games developed by other companies for the NES or Game Boy between 89 and 91, they were mostly known for selling computer monitors, printers, and graphics cards. Taxon was also notably the earliest video game-related employer of future Nintendo employee and Killer Instinct series co-creator Ken Lobb before they shut down in 1991.
Yeah, Ken Lobb, famously named the Clob after him in GoldenEye 007, because I think they couldn't get the rights to the actual name of the gun, or they weren't trying to name the guns after actual guns because of, you know, Nintendo being how they were. But regardless, named the Clob after him as a little homage to him. And I think he said, you know, despite all of his credits, obviously, as Fluff mentioned, being a co-creator on the Killer Instinct series and everything, still, most people identify him as being, oh, you're the Clob guy, which I think he has a good sense of humor about it, basically, so it's nice to see. But anyway, just trying to top ourselves off here before we head out. Again, this is the final shop here in Magician, which might scare you, but rest assured that there are a lot more chests coming up in this game, and you'll be well covered when it comes to things like water and food, and definitely won't run out throughout the rest of this game, assuming you're in good shape right now like you should be. And just keep following this guide. So now we're ready to press on, grab some last minute water right here, refill your water flask. Make sure you're topped off before you move on from this water source right here. And you can still drown in here, clean water or not. You can easily drown, so make sure you're flying over this. We're using the fleet foot, or the feather light, I should say. But no, I just assumed fly over it. Mist Nast. Which one is Mist Nast? Without pulling up the spells list. Oh, Iron Boots. Actually, in that lake level, when we paid the guy for passage in his boat across, if you fly right before the lightning hits, then you use your iron boots to pull yourself out of the fly spell. It basically cancels the fly spell. If you're extremely lucky and careful, you can kind of alternate between fly and iron boots to get back to the left bank and get another 250 boost to your magic, for whatever that's worth. Although it's nearly impossible to do, but just thought I would mention that. That is a thing. As we continue right, just fly over those little vines that are going to hurt you out of the ground back there. Just ignoring most enemies at this stage in the game. Not going to lie, we really are going to ignore most enemies. We're going to talk to this tree, obviously. Let's wake them up first with Wakey Wakey. Ministol. Another consult your doctor before taking Ministol sounding spell right there. And then use Translate on the tree. And talking to the tree a couple times gets you another magic upgrade. And then he just goes back to sleep. There you go. Mutters something about wormwood treatments and goes back to sleep. Pop in here, this guy's very hungry. Give him some bread. the least useful food that we have, and he's not picky. And you'll get some mana out of it. Doesn't work twice, just do it the once. Don't waste any more food than you need to. And now we'll be approached by a serpent outside of 3 doors here. You have to guess the proper name of the serpent. It's always the same every time, so I'll tell you. This first one is Venmore. And then inside we'll find our first Zug. Gary, Zugs?
Boss beaters.
Right, Zug, this is where the Staff of Power really shines. You just want to stay on top of the Zug. There's no, like, touching you damage or anything like that. You don't want to get distance between you and the Zug. That is very clear, because if he hits you, it will just destroy your physical shield. And probably 1 or 2 hits, maybe 3 hits total, will kill you, so stay right on top of him. He'll never get a shot off on you. He'll always be trying to reposition. Just keep firing with the Staff of Power. Eventually, you'll take him down.
Thanks, Gary. Another reason to give that guy bread before is because we get more bread in that chest right there. This final one is named Fang Few. And then by process of elimination, this middle one is named Shom. And Blaze, what's in this chest?
The Ring of Ven poisons you. Do not pick this up. This is a cursed item. You cannot take it off once you pick it up. But yeah, avoid it at all costs. Only pops up in this one chest, the Ring of Ven. Don't touch it.
Yeah, it'll make the rest of this game much more difficult if you're constantly poisoned. Albeit at a very light rate, but yeah, it can't take it off, like he says. And that final door is the way forward. Here we need to use our iron boots. You just use level 1 on this. This will weigh down. And then cast Fly to open up a few chests on the way down here. If you're maxed out on bread and healing potions, use 1 of each, because that's what we got in this chest right here. Use Fly level 1 again and come over here to the right. And this chest contains bread, or a single loaf of bread once again. Water flask, top off, so you can go through all your water before you open this one up. And 3 anti-venom potions, which are probably going to be useful to you if you just picked up that Ven ring, despite Blaze's warning. Drop down now, and this final chest in this area has a piece of ham and 2 mana potions. So, good time to max out your mana. If you have more than 1 mana potion, go ahead and use all but 1 at this stage. Top off your shields if you need to before your mana is maxed out as well, as we mentioned in the Briggs notes. I'm going to use a couple right here. Alright, so we're in good shape here in our game. So let's pop open this chest now and grab out the piece of ham and the 2 mana potions. And not counting the water, I think this might be our first instant death trap at the bottom of this pit. So equip Fly level 2 and cast it before you drop down. And just kind of hover over the spike right here. This, I don't know, stalagmite coming out of the ground, stalagmite. Just unaccountably kills you with 1 hit, so be careful with that. You can cast light here, mind you, but you can generally see the outlines of the doors, and we're showing you where to go anyway. But just know you could light up the room if you cast light right there. But pop in here. And this dragon's going to take the egg, and we're going to get Blaze.
All right, the magic charm, we just need to grab 3 of these to swap out to get to the next area in the game when the professor will mention.
All right, good call. Continue moving this way. Enter another hard-to-see door, and Gary?
Boss beaters.
All right, the giant head. Want to cast Fly level 2. That'll give you enough time in the air. And then get that lightning level 4 spell out and just blast away as you're lined up with the head. 18 shots should take him down. You can use that inching closer than retreating to avoid damage. You don't really need to retreat with this boss. You'll just, if you fire fast enough, you'll take him down before they can really get enough shots on to make it a problem for you. But yeah, take him down.
And then obviously just a piece of ham and another one of those charms, which we need 3 of to advance in just a moment. And then pop into this next difficult to see opening right here. And we have our first puzzle, which Fluff has the solution to. Fluff?
Here's the solution for this puzzle with all of the tiles revealed. Note you get 2,000 bucks if you hit that $ tile right there. Everything else will send you back to the start. Note that obviously money is completely useless at this point in the game, but I guess if you want to stop off at a gentleman's club on the way back, you'll certainly have earned it, and you'll have 2,000 bucks in your pocket if you step on that tile.
Good call, Fluff. Yeah, we're going to throw a major rager once we get back to our hometown, and moved a little bit too soon there. There's no penalty for, aside from getting sent back to the beginning for stepping on an area which you're not supposed to. Yeah, these are sort of the style, the theme of the puzzles in this game. And kind of variations on that. They get more difficult, but we got Fluff helping us out with that. And in this chest we have some vegetables, or one thing of vegetables. If you need to eat something, go ahead and down some vegetables now if you're maxed out on them. And we have a magic charm and a healing potion, so there you go. As we head back outside, pay attention, there's some bones we can tap down to search, and we'll get Blaze.
Alright, the Ring of Hail. This is a level 1 exercise on-demand item. Doesn't cost you any MP. Not a bad spell, actually. It is only level 1, but again, it doesn't cost you any MP. You can use this against certain enemies, combine this with flying, and you can make sure you don't take any damage. It doesn't cost you any extra mana using this ring.
Thank you very much, Blaze. So we're going to the right from that last area, and that brings us into an optional area. This is a maze. Basically, the solution is to go up twice, then go right to this chest right here. Inside, you'll find another staff, a spell scroll for slow motion, and a mana potion. So use that mana potion, but information on the staff, here's Blaze.
Alright, the Staff of Mayhem is level 1 Dispel on demand. Not my favorite spell, but if you want to use Dispel, level 1, admittedly, the Staff of Mayhem.
Thank you, Blaze. Keep going right. Talk to this wizard. He will give you 500 MP just for talking to him, saying you look tired. We're going to keep going to the right now until we get to another chest. We got the slow-mo spell. This is another one that sounds like an Adam Sandlerism from the mid-90s. The Mama Rahuna? Just saying it normally sounds like something he would have said, but keep going to the right, you'll find another chest 2 screens from here. After you open it up, head back to this screen, go up twice, and then left all the way back to the caves from before. But information on what's in that chest, here's Blaze.
Alright, the Staff of Nell casts level 1 Ven with no MP, so you can use this stacking on certain enemies so that they die from poison. Not gonna get a lot of use out of it. Obviously, the Professor, as he's mentioned, we don't use a lot of poison, but we also have, more importantly, the Refresh Potion. Tops off your health, your food, your water, and cures you of all poison if you're poisoned. A very powerful, but unfortunately single-use potion. Only one instance of this in the entire game, but it's your break glass in case of emergency potion right there.
Thank you, Blaze. So we're back in the cave. Go into that opening right there, and then quickly, as soon as you come inside, use the magic charms. The old lady in the rocking chair will be sapping your health if you don't use it quickly enough, so use it as soon as possible, and then she turns into a beautiful lady in a nightie, apparently. But anyway, too bad we couldn't hang around for that. We gotta move on to the dungeons. Yeah, I'd rather hang out with that lady than go to the dungeons, but we have plenty of puzzles here. We're getting very close to the end of this one, actually, but number of puzzles to solve. Pretty much everything here is completely optional, but we'll be showing you the majority of it, at least the worthwhile stuff. Just the same. I'm gonna pound some water since we're gonna get some from this first chest. We got another Zug. Like Gary mentioned, just pop on that Staff of Power and Stay close to him, always be moving so he never feels like he can commit to a shot on you. Again, it does a lot of damage. Probably drop your physical shield completely and eat into your health. Typically only withstand 2, maybe 3 of those shots, even with a full shield. But so yeah, pound some vegetables, pound your water, and then there's one of each of the basic types of potions. So your anti-venom, your magic, and your healing potions. So if you are topped off on all those and you need to use any of those, then go ahead, by all means use it. Certainly the magic potion if you already are maxed out ahead of that. There's about 8 of these gates. Again, if you want, you can literally just walk to the very end of this, ignore all of this. You don't need any of these items, strictly speaking, but again, this is a Magician walkthrough for the NES, so we're trying to show you everything here. This isn't a puzzle which we need Fluff for necessarily. This is just a test of patience. Just, you can only walk when you can see the floor. Got to get on this rotating platform right here that moves around. This is usually the strategy I use. Just make a dash for it when it lights up there. If you go to the top left, you'll get some mana replenishment, as evidenced by that sound right there. And then head up north. There is a single mana potion here, so between hitting that tile back out there and then this potion, you should get an extra 1,000 mana from going through this gate right here. So good opportunity, obviously, to top off your shields again. The venom and the power in our game right here are pretty close to being maxed out right now, so just a level 1 would get them there. Looking pretty good, though. Pound one of those mana potions. Open it up and grab a replenishment right there. The next gate is just a bit of a street fight with some enemies we haven't really covered yet, so, I don't know, let's bring back in Gary. Gary, who we got?
Boss beaters.
Alright, evil medieval knights. I like to just get to one side and blast away with the lightning like there's no tomorrow.
Good call. Love the lightning for that. Level 4, obviously. Nothing but coins and an amulet we haven't seen before in this chest, so information on the Amulet of More. Here's Blaze.
Alright, the Amulet of More, this restores half of your health. It's a single use, so not that impressive, but if you're low on health, pop this up, just use it. As I said, single use, half your health back.
Alright, got another puzzle room coming up next, so let's throw it back to Fluff. This is another one which is going to require some patience and attention to detail. Just pay attention to Fluff's solution. Speaking of which, here he is with it now. Fluff?
Alright, a lot of teleporting tiles here. The W's correspond to those, and you just gotta wait for each teleport. But basically, the order from the start is up, wait, right up, wait, up, wait, left, wait, left, wait, left, wait, right, down, wait, right, wait 5 times, up, wait, right, up, wait 4 times, up, wait, left, wait, left, up, down, left, wait, left, wait, right, down, wait, right, wait 5 times, and then up to the exit twice.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you very much, Fluff. And in this chest, another amulet which we have not yet seen. I mean, every amulet in this game only appears once, but what do we got this time, Blaze?
Alright, the Amulet of Shield. That is not a typo. That is how it is actually spelled. This adds 15% to all of your shields on demand, single use, so but there you go.
Thank you very much, Blaze. We're going to be skipping these next 2 gates. It's just enemy battles with very little in return to show for it. So you can talk to this wizard to learn Fountain of Fire, Feel Hunara. If you want to put that in, just, you know, make the guy happy. Maybe it'll act as a deterrent for some fools later if they know that we know fire spray. But we can refill our water right here, so drink up with your water flask and then refill it with this water source right here. And then just gonna go right past these little flame demon guys that are flying about right here. Yeah, looking pretty good. Skipping this gate as well and going to the next one for probably the most frustrating puzzle in this entire game. Let's throw it back to Fluff. Yeah, Fluff, what do we do?
This is easily the most frustrating of all the puzzle rooms, and it's totally not worth it. But if you're committed, here we go. Right, from the start. Left, right, left. Up, up. Right, up, right, left, down, left, down, left, right, left. Left, up. Right, up, left, left, down, right, down, up, left, up, right. Minus one of those rights. Down, right, down, right, down, left, left, down, right, left, right, left, right, up, right, up, left, down, up, right, down, left, down, left, right, left, right, left, up, right, up, left, left, down, right, up, left, up, right, down, right, down, left, down, right, left, right, up, right, up, left, up. Oh my gosh. I want overtime this week, Professor.
Give you some of Paul's gold. How's that sound? Yeah, this one is frustrating as heck. There's a barrier in that just to the left right here. That's why we couldn't go to the right when we seemingly had an alley to do that. There's a magical hidden barrier which prevents us from doing that, which is very frustrating. You know what's not frustrating, though, is the Ring of Anna. Blaze, what do you know about it?
All right, the Ring of Anna restores 100% of your food and water. Again, like all these other items for the most part, single use.
Thank you, Blaze. And next puzzle.
Alright, this one pretty straightforward. Just ride the tiles, but the moves you actually need to make from the start. Up, left, up, right, down, right, up, left, and then up to the exit.
Thank you very much, Fluff. Yeah, all the gold you want, Fluff. Certainly earned it. In this chest, we have more gold for Fluff. We have the twin spell, which we'll need in just a second, actually. And then a mana potion as well. So if you want to pound a mana potion if you're topped off, definitely use one right here before you open this chest. We'll need twin to open a gate to head on out of here. One more source of water if you need it right here, if you want to fill up here. Might as well, right? It's right there, even though probably at this stage in the game we won't need any more water moving forward. We're very close to the end. Especially considering there's the next area which we're going to skip for the most part. Quite a bit up. There's a shortcut which we can use. We're absolutely going to be taking advantage of that because there are so many instant death traps in this area. And all we get out of it are 2 items, one of which is completely redundant, especially with the other one in mind. But use the reveal spell here and pop in here, talk to this guy for a few times. We'll get some mana, and more importantly, we'll get a potion which we'll need to craft the ultimate potion. But yeah, we're going to use the twin spell at the end of this next area to wait down a switch and gain access to the next area. But with an overview of the 2 items we're going to be skipping with the shortcut, here is Blaze.
All right, 2 staffs, which we are not going to show you how to get because it's just not worth it. Too much danger, and this is all you can get from going to these other areas with the Staff of Blaze. And you know it's not worth it when Blaze is telling you to ignore the Staff of Blaze and the Staff of Malice for level 2 and level 1 fire on demand with no MP spent. It's just so late in the game, it doesn't matter at this point. But there you go, Blaze and Malice.
Again, you know it's not worth it when Blaze himself is telling you not to pick up the Staff of Blaze. Maybe if they had given it to us earlier in the game, with it being a level 2 spell that we don't have to pay for, you know, something half decent. But have a nice life, by the way, twin. Just cast it on that stone right there, the pressure plate. And now we're in Abadon's castle, the penultimate area, but again, we're going to be taking a massive shortcut here. We'll need the reveal spell to find it. We'll also need to use the slow-mo spell, which, it's a good time to save, by the way, with all the instant death traps. So we'll use fly first to avoid these knights right here. Don't go too far, just drop right next to it. Stop pretty much just to the left of this beam right here. Because as you can see, that swinging ball on a chain is instant death if it hits you, and at full speed you cannot avoid it, so just make sure you cast reveal first and be very quick. Even with slow-mo, that thing moves very quickly and can still kill you with one hit. Here you want to use jump level 3 to get through this as fast as possible, otherwise we'll burn up if you spend like an extra second than we spent right there. But now with tips on how to deal with this flame-looking guy, here is Gary.
Boss beater.
With the Flame Devil. Weak against lightning for some reason. I guess there's no ice spell, so there you go. Again, use that approach and repeat technique to avoid getting hit by those fire projectiles. Hopefully you have some fire shield built up at this point. Like we covered in the Briggs notes, have all those shields maxed out whenever possible, but 40 shots will take him down. That includes eating through that shield. You hear that kind of tink sound first. That just means you're working on that shield, but blast away, get closer, retreat to avoid those projectiles, take him down.
All important vial of fire right there, as well as a mana potion in that chest. And then you got a Sphinx looking guy here. This is a good chance to catch your breath and refill some shields if you need to. We can also do that in just a second on the final stage. But as soon as you try leaving this room, the Sphinx will come to life and ask you its name. It's Trash. That's all you gotta do. Exit out, and this will take us to the final level. Strictly speaking, the only thing you have to do here is craft the ultimate potion from the 4 vials we've collected, but I'm going to show you everything, obviously, that you can do here. Good chance to save your game right here, by the way. If you fly up to this first area up to the right, we have another puzzle. Fluff, what can you tell us about it?
Alright, this one's not too bad. Just follow this pattern from the start. Left, 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 up, up, up. Right, 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 up, left. You grab 500 mana right there. Then right, down, down, right, right, up, right, right, up, left, left, up, left, down, left, up, left, down, left, up, right, up to the exit.
Good call, Fluff. Thank you very much. Should be really good on mana around this part of the game. No reason to not have your shields topped off. We have a mana fountain coming up in a second, but the Amulet of Tamis, Blaze?
The Amulet of Tamis restores 500 MP, so basically with it being a single use, it's just like a mana potion, but there you go. Might as well have it, might as well use it.
Yeah, use it right there. And now it's just for aesthetic purposes, just looks kind of cool. Fly up here and we can grab some money and some chicken. For what that's worth. So if you need to eat something, go ahead and down some chicken from your inventory. Chicken and gold. Good combo. Now I'm thinking of Georgia Gold barbecue chicken. But anyway. Let's fly back up to the next one here. Puzzles are all behind us now. Use your iron boots to avoid getting fizzy lifting drinked up to the ceiling and crushed, killed by those spikes. Just some bread and vegetables in this chest. Really not worth the effort, but didn't require a lot of effort, so why not? Another Zug in this door. Just use that power staff again like Gary mentioned. Then you got some ham, some water, and the credits list spell, actually. Might as well cast it. Give some love to the below-the-line people. There you go. All the Eurocom people right there. Speaking of the music and the other spell like that, Fluff?
Blaze mentioned this earlier, but one of the spells includes a sound test. Use the spell NAHUMISTMI, and the music will change every time you cast the spell. By the way, this game low-key has some pretty decent tracks.
Yeah, the music is, underrated, I would say, in this game. Pretty decent indeed. So this fountain will max out your magic, so before you step in there, get all of your shields up, come back in, do it again. Just make sure you're all the way topped off when it comes to facing Abadon. No excuses at this point, class. Be topped off. Better safe than sorry. Do so, and this fight will not be too difficult, actually. There's one last thing we need, though, before we can take on Abadon, and that is the ultimate potion. So to craft the ultimate potion, we just drop each of our vials here in this room, one at a time. Resisting an urge to sing the Captain Planet theme song, or do the rap or whatever you want to call it that they do, but grab the ultimate potion, which we will need to take down Abadon. Get one last little boost. Guess we'll have one more before the game is over. We're going to end with 10,000 points, but you should have 4,000 by the time you reach Abadon. Good time to save, and yeah, you'll get that final boost of magic. You should have 4,000 once you get to the top to face Abadon himself. And Gary, with tips on the final boss, take us home.
Boss beater. Abadon, the final boss in Magician, and I wish I could tell you we had a more advanced were just satisfying strategy than getting to one side and blasting away. But no, lightning, the spell that got us here, max it out. Just make sure you keep an eye on your physical shield. That's mostly what he's going to be eating away, but it takes about 40 to 50 shots to blast through his shield and get him to the point where you'll get a message where it says he's weakened. At this point, you want to go into your inventory, pull out your ultimate potion when it says he's weakening, use B to activate that potion, and just let it do its thing. You don't have to do anything else, just stand there, watch the credits roll. Congratulations, you have beaten one of the most tricky, nebulous titles on the NES. In Magician, congratulations.
Very much so. Thank you very much, Gary. Huge thanks to Blaze for the spells guide and just overview on all the items, but yeah, especially that spells guide, which you pull up on demand. Again, we have it bookmarked, or we have it time-stamped there so you can refer to it. And there we go, level completed, rating Magician, 10,000 mana. Finally took down Abadon, and then the game just kind of, that's the end of it right there. If you give it enough time, he walks back home, and everybody's probably terrified of us, knowing how powerful we are at this stage. Just silently and awkwardly staring at us in awe. That's alright. Gotta figure that warrior act's like, can I get my $500 back? I feel like you have a lot more money than me now, but nope. Not at all. Already promised that money to Fluff. Big thanks to Fluff as well, with all of those really frustrating puzzle guides, right? Not the guides were great, but the puzzles themselves, very frustrating. Most of those you didn't have to do, but again, in the interest of covering pretty much this entire game with the exception of that one area in his castle, which is just not worth it, or the dungeons around his castle, just not worth it. But there you go, Magician. The game will now restart. Guy just hovering right there. The game will now restart on a harder difficulty. Enemies, oh, alright. We going in there? Was that the lady in the nightie from before? That's a nice shot right there. So yeah, you'll start the game over from this point. Enemies, they regenerate their health much more quickly, those kind of the boss enemies in particular. So it's a lot more difficult. You gotta double fist sometimes with a staff and using more powerful spells occasionally, but this game's hard enough the first time. That's what I say. And then it gets harder again on the loop after. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. There it is, egging us on. We did our time. That's our time for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for attending this class. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to enroll in this class. We do one of these every single week in the same spot. Love to have you enrolled. Click that like button if you don't mind. It really does help us out in making future classes for you. And leave a comment. Have you ever even heard of this game, let alone played it? It's not one of the better, well-known titles. Fantastic game if you know what you're doing, which hopefully you do now, but yeah, one of the more obscure titles indeed. But that's our time. We'll see you next week in the same spot for next week's class right here on Video Games 101. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.